I'm pretty sure that the world can do without me, just like it can do with me. So if the world can do without me, it's the same for you. So I can just decide one day to say goodbye to it all. I don't know why religion preaches so much sin and punishment and bullshit like that. It's obviously a man-made something. God doesn't punish. He has an endless patience for you to learn something. He's like a good parent. If he's a good parent, he doesn't preach you about sin and hell all the time. He just gives you the time enough to learn something. So I can actually voluntarily decide to say goodbye, because I don't like this world. I don't like what it has become. This world is a work of genius. The genius who has ability to rule the matter. I said it many times. It's actually beautiful, but we don't know how to communicate with it. We don't know how to live anymore. And just because you live in the city and you have all the city bullshit, city hurry and traffic jams and bullshit, from time to time you have to go into the nature, of course, to find yourself. So this is how we live today. We are aware that money steals from you. It steals your youth, it steals your energy, it steals your time. Worrying about money, it actually kills people. And we are actually living in such a world that is aware of all that. But how to skip that gap between, separation and non-separation? How to go back into the nature? How do you go back into the nature? You just simply go. But in the nature, nature is very harsh. You have to know her laws. You have to know how to survive. You have to know maybe to build a house, I don't know, or go fishing or something, just to survive. But today we made such laws where you can't go fishing everywhere. You have to have license for this, license for that, license for this, license for that, license for everything. We're trying to keep the nature alive. But actually, there are people who want to live somewhere. So if it's not the law about the nature and forbidden to do this or to do that, then we invented laws to not to give the people who are alive, not to give them space to live. I remember there was one video, maybe about 10 years ago, I don't know. There was one video that I saw that homeless people in America, it was the whole bunch of people, and they had their tents, and because they have nowhere to live, so they live in tents, and they went with tents. There was maybe 50 or 100 people, I don't know. So they went into the forest. Somewhere into the forest, and then the government people, of course, the mercenaries of the government, came and they tore down everything, because it's a public property. It belongs to the government, not to you. So you don't have a right to live, but they do, because they are mercenaries. First of all, mercenaries, and secondly, those at the top, they live off your money. But if you don't work, you don't deserve to live. If you're homeless and you don't work, You don't deserve to live. So they sent their people, like it was like in the Roman Empire times, you know. So they sent their own people, mercenaries, of course, brainwashed, and who work for their pay or something. Maybe these homeless people are sick. Maybe these homeless people are just not able to work anymore. So I'm actually wondering, what were they doing before they were homeless? I'm sure they had a job. I had to deal with homeless people for some time. It was just my experiment. I wasn't homeless because I was homeless, but I was among these people just to observe them. I'm an observer. And I noticed one thing in common with everybody. These people don't know how to think in their own heads. They always need a parent to take care of them. They don't need a job. Most of them don't even look for a job. But they can't adapt to all this modern society bullshit, demands and things like that. And they all think the same way. There's nobody here to help me. What do I do? How do I do? And they never change their mindset. And they're not ready to change the mindset that they have. They don't know how to live in their own world, so to speak. So most people who have nothing, they stay homeless. They stay miserable. They stay because they repeat the same pattern again and again and again, and it becomes their life, and it's just a pattern that you repeat, and they're not ready to give up on that because. Mostly because they're afraid, or they're afraid they have some fears from the past, that the past will repeat itself. What if I do the same mistake again? No, that this is not the way it goes, and things like that. Or they're just too afraid to step into something new. A new way of thinking for them is like stepping on a new planet. And yes, they don't know how to think, and they don't want to change anything about it. They don't actually know that as soon as you change your mindset, the change in your life begins. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. If everybody on this planet can, of course, live without me, then my God, well, goodbye. Because I don't like this world anyway. Yeah, it often sounds like I'm criticizing. I'm just wondering. I'm not criticizing, actually. I'm just wondering, and I'm just amazed by people's stupidity. You've been given everything. You know how to read and write today. You know that there was like Jesus or something in the past, and he said a long time ago, that kingdom of God is within you. Yeah. So everything's at hand. Maybe sometimes isn't, maybe it seems like that, maybe it seems like this or like that, I don't know. But most of the time it is. But I don't know, it also says somewhere, it's the truth actually. I'm not questioning you whether he existed or not. Whether these conspiracy theories are right or not, whether the aliens made us or not. I'm not asking this question. I'm just saying the truth is known, always. it can be darkened by the wrong way of thinking, by you or by somebody. It can be darkened in some way for a long time, but it won't lose itself. And it won't lose any value that it has. So if this world, I think it's amazing. Yes, it's a work of genius. I can't create a whale. I can't create, a tree. But we need trees, yes. And then we burn the Amazon because we need money. We need more oil and money. So basically, I don't like this planet. I don't like what's happening here. And this is why they go to space, because only the elite will go to space because they'll be able to. But there is a plan too, to have too many robots. And then when all people on the earth, when we have too much children and all that, when there is too many of us, they will just do a genocide and leave their robots. And maybe 200, 300 servants for everybody. Because robots don't have to be paid. Robots don't have to do this. Robots don't have to do that. They just have to do, what you taught them to do. And no, the input is important. The next, I will talk about this too. I didn't even know it. I just found out somewhere recently, that in India, for example, they have like a room. They put maybe 100 people in one room. They all sit at their desks, small desks, and they have like gamers have that glasses for gamers, and they teach the robots how to act like a human or animal or something like that. People teach them, like everyday people, teach them how to, in the future, take away their jobs. So when their jobs are taken away, their bread is taken away. So what will happen to the people? If you only need robots, you don't need me. I'm having a hard time finding a job and a normal boss. And what's even more important, normal people to work with. But robots don't ask questions. They're just programmed to do something and to be always kind. Just like they wanted 100 years ago when the Industrial Revolution started. It's more than 100 years, but let's say 100 years ago. It all started, and they saw a great big opportunity. People who had money, of course, they saw great opportunity in that. Yes, it has helped us, but it has also helped us to have these newer generations who were born like some kind of royalty. No, I can't live without this, I can't live without that, I want this, I want that. Here is one case that I will tell you about. There was an Englishman who came to it's like an association where poor people go, they just get free coffee, they have legal help for free and things like that. And he asked the social worker over there, where can he eat? He's homeless, and where can he eat? And she explained to them that there is, I think it was Sunday, I'm not sure. She explained to the guy that there are Sisters of Mercy. On Sundays, only Sisters of Mercy work. Because nobody gives food on Sunday except them. So he went there, and tomorrow he comes back to her to ask where he can complain about the food that he got, because they didn't have a vegetarian menu. You just went to the Sisters of Mercy. They're just nuns. They beg for food also, and people bring them their extras. What do you think you will eat? You will eat wherever, whatever they give you. Say thank you and goodbye, and he comes to her to complain. There are numerous stories like that. So we created people who are ungrateful, who have expectations, like this guy. You just went to a homeless association. What do you expect? And then you go to the nuns. What do you expect? They live of fasting and praying to give to you. So there'll be many people in the future who will stop that. They will see that work, that kind of charitable work is merciful and it is necessary for the people, but the poorest people, let's say the poorest people, the people in need, how do you call them? They can be very, I don't know, they can be very rude, with no control, and with no ability to think. Many of them are psychiatric patients. Many of them, actually not many of them, some of them, just like to live that life because they know one simple truth. Life is supposed to be lived. It's not supposed to be like you work as a mercenary and then fuck around with people who are not, who are different than you or something like that. You're not a mercenary. That brings me to another point that I will mention now. Let's go back to, of course, the Genesis. I have something to say about it. Whoever wrote it, it's not just a story. I don't know, we don't know if it's true or not, but it's a good story. You can get all the answers from it. Like, for example, you have, I already spoke about this, you have in the beginning, at the very beginning, you see that the world and everything and blah, 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 it was created by God. Then he created Adam and Eve. Yes, first humans. And everything was fine. And nothing was said against it, for it, about it, except that. And then, suddenly, when they just bit the apple, and then they had 2 sons. Actually, they had 3. The third one is not very important, so he's not mentioned too much. That exactly is the point. Why are these 2 mentioned and what happened to them, to these first 2 sons? The third one, what about the third one? It's the spirit that they inherited. This corrupt spirit that controls the world. I think what it sounds to me like that corrupt spirit created everything after. I spoke about this before already. Did you notice nothing was ever said before they bit the apple, but after they bit the apple, you have the whole Bible. They only write about how to live, what to do, what's right, what's wrong. Of course, tree of knowledge, what's right, what's wrong. They had the tree of life before, but now they have the tree of knowledge. They have the Bible too, and they wrote everything down. Let's say it is the truth and it did happen. They wrote down the laws. They wrote down punishments. What kind of God creates a perfect human being to his image and then gives them punishments, stoning, whatever, murder? And then he has, you have like 10 commandments given to Moses, yes? And what I want to say, you have 10 commandments, and after that, the God jumps into his own mouth and goes against it. Because the people who lived after Moses, of course, they saw they have to be very manipulative in this Mother Nature world to survive. They had to kill. They had to go to the war. All the gods said, don't do that. What I'm saying, the 10 Commandments, they are not being respected, and they were given by God Himself. So this God jumps into His own mouth, actually. Then you have the situation when for example, I'm talking about Israeli people. We want our own king. And then God said to them, because actually they wanted to live like everybody else. Everybody else has a king. We have no king. And then God said to them, am I not your king? You know, He's almighty, blah, blah, blah. Everything was given to you already, blah, blah, blah. But I was thinking, they probably at that time lacked knowledge on how to live. For example, Indian yogis probably existed somewhere, and they could teach them how to live a better life. But no, they wanted a king, they wanted a war. They wanted everything that came after that. And then they celebrate, oh, King David, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, they don't even know what is that double, when you have, you know how the Israeli, the Jewish sign looks like, Israeli flag, for example, it's one and then two, you know, it's two triangles forming other triangles and a hexagram, yes? They don't know what it represents. Or maybe they do, or maybe they did, but now the knowledge is lost. Who knows? We don't know that. What I wanted to say, let me go back to Adam and Eve. What it says from the story, I always say that you people are illiterate. You go to the theological colleges and whatever, things like that. You have missionaries, you have sects, these cults, whatever, all over the world. But you don't know how to read. You only know how to read something today, listen to somebody else, what somebody else expects, what somebody else said, what somebody else, I don't know what, convinced you into something. And then you go preaching. It's incredible how people believe in bullshit very easily. It's very easy. Because first you have to give them the feeling of desperation and fear about the future, about your children, especially if they have children. So they actually want people to have children, to live in the fear of future. It's a stronger fear of future when it's for your children than for somebody else. Then you start thinking about the future and the world, you know, that's left behind. Behind them, after them actually. It's amazing, you know, Adam and Eve. Let me talk about Adam and Eve. This is what I wanted to say. I already spoke about this before. Adam bit the apple, and God came to him, that perfect God that just created him, that just everything was perfect. They didn't say a word before. But this time they had the word from God. Let earth and everything on earth be cursed because of you. That's what God told him. When you really think about it, and when you really look into the past, well, actually it is. It's exactly like that. They invented atomic bomb. They invented many numerous things. They invented the popes, who have the power to send you in prison and Spanish Inquisition for nothing, for fucking nothing, you know. They are the murderers of the world. They are the exterminators of the world. I'm important, you are not. I'm better than you, you are not better than me. You know, my family is important, and that's why I go to job. The job that I had, the job that somebody else invented for him or people like him. The job that you hate, but you still do because you have kids, you have family, or you don't have any family today, in today's world. Most people don't have a family. They saw this is just a bullshit, you know, and when you think about it, it is. Because in the past, like 60, 70, 80 years ago, maybe 100, only women actually stayed at home with children, you know. And today, I only saw, for example, I just came into a very small town and I'm looking for a doctor of like a GP, general practitioner doctor. And I'm reading all these, well, I don't know how is it in your country, but there is an institution here with many doctors working there, and I read. You can read their names and their qualifications. You read it in one place. And I'm looking, woman, woman, woman. There is not one single man. There are maybe 50, 60 doctors in that institution. But where is the men? The men don't work anymore. They either ran away somewhere from this country or I don't know what happened to them. Or they're just people who don't want to work anymore. And 100 years ago, only men worked. And in the 70s, maybe 80s, I don't know, if only one person worked, usually a man, he can have wife, he could have wife, kids, a house, maybe a car, maybe, and he could pay for all that with one salary. In America, for example. What can you do today? Where can you work? It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. You need 2 or 3 jobs. You need one job for food, one job for rent, because you can't afford your own house, of course. You can only live on rent forever, ever and ever. And rent, food, and maybe the bills like electricity, water, whatever you pay in your country. This is what the world has become. And the God was right. Let everything be cursed because of you. Because of a man, not because of a woman. And let me tell you something else about Adam. God told him, he didn't punish them both. He just told them how life would look like from now on, from this day. That's what he said, from now on. He told to Adam, you will work in, it means in those days, of course, he didn't have a job or anything, but you will work like something like on a barren land, it won't give you fruit, something like that, and with thistle and thorns, something like that. And that means, actually, that story, when I was younger, I didn't understand, but now I do. He just told him what will happen in the future. This will happen in the future. Your work will usually be in vain. You will not have good fruit out of your land. I just gave you the land, the whole globe. But it wasn't enough for you, was it? What he told him actually, that from this day he will live only in the material sphere, in the material world, materialistic. He'll become materialistic. And it's the truth. He was right, of course, and it's the truth. Let's see how men live. They invent all sorts of bullshit, jobs, wars, whatever you can think of, just in order to get paid. They became materialistic. And everything, he's always judged by materialism. How much he owns, how much he earns. They only talk at the internet about business and money, because this is, and how to make money. You know, those advices, those bullshit advice that you have, how to make money online, which is, I think, in 99% is fraud. And they never go to jail, but other people go to jail. He will be judged only by materialism and his own work. That is his work, materialistic. And when you look at it, yes, it is so. He's only judged by his work, by materialism, by ownership. How much do you own? You know, you can't get a wife or a girlfriend. You can't have her if you don't pay her a drink or something, or take her to dinner or something. That's how it is. I saw it in American movies in the 80s when I was a kid. I saw this pattern in American movies. They always, first you feed her, then you fuck her. This is how it works, actually. And I thought to myself, what kind of world is this? Yeah, I was thinking about this stupid world since I was a kid. I was thinking about this stupid world. What kind of world is this? I think I was still in the kindergarten. Maybe I was 5 years old or 6 or something like that. And I was thinking, what kind of world is this? Nobody likes anybody. And nobody loves anybody, and they all lie to each other. That was my first philosophical thought when I was a kid, because I didn't like this world. I don't know how I made it to this. Maybe by always putting up with some bullshit that I don't like. And I don't know why or how I survived. Now let's talk about Eve. What did God say to Eve? He told her a very important thing. He told her, and he will master over you. In English language, and he will master over you. Adam will master over her. Because a woman, the female principle, it usually means intuition and wisdom. And she is supposed to bring that into this life. But no, you have to keep her busy all the time. So if she's busy all day, first you go to work. If you have kids, for example, if you don't have kids, you can do what you want, or you can just go to sleep when you come home. First work, then kids. And if you have kids, you have another job. And then be nice and good to everybody, and serve your husband, serve your kids, serve your guests who come to your house. You know, how do you know that I will have a house, actually, to live in? And what else did he tell her? You know, you're always too busy. You can't get to that wisdom. What is the wisdom of life? Many women that I see now, they're just too tired, and they're just too blackmailed with money and maybe children, probably, because they need to eat too, to think about life. Who created it? It looks wonderful. It looks wonderful when you go fishing, you know, on a Sunday morning. But other than that, do you see anything else in this life worth living for? You don't admire anything anymore. You don't appreciate anything anymore. And that was the goal of so-called demon or devil or something like that. Negativity, some kind of negativity. That was the goal. Keep her busy, too busy to survive. And she'll have corrupt children. She'll have a husband who will probably run away from her. Or maybe he'll stay with her because he's a sissy. I don't really know. There are various possibilities. And what else did God say to her? He spoke about labor pains. He spoke about, I will give you labor pains and all that. To appreciate life. To appreciate through pain. When you look at the movies, horror, thriller movies, something like that, today, when you look at the movies, usually the victim is always a woman, of course. Well, she's not as strong as a man. You know, so it's easier. So if you are a man, find yourself somebody of your size and of your weight. He just told her, actually, you'll be always judged by your pussy. In a very nice way, of course. And she is. She's a saint or a whore, a mother or invalid. You're invalid. Do you know the word invalid, where it comes from? It comes from invalid. Invalid. You're invalid. And that's why all women have actually all women have this insecurity about their own worth, because they are used to being judged first by her pussy, then by her beauty, then by her children. Can she get pregnant or not? Today we have contraception and it's a little bit different, but she's always judged by her pussy. If she gives you her pussy, she's not good. If she doesn't give you her pussy, if she does or if she doesn't, that's the point. She's not good. You know, nobody is good enough for you. Well, if nobody is good enough for you, you're not good enough for me. This is how I think. Fuck you. You know, I can live without you. I'm in my 50s. I lived in the 50s. I lived 50 years without you, so I can live without you now. I don't need you. And maybe that's why we realize that, or something similar to that today, and that's why probably I only saw women doctors. I never saw men working anymore. Maybe on Baustella. But I only saw women. And wherever I go, and this is a very hard thing for me because I think the male doctors are better. In my own experience, they were all women, they were all neurotics. Usually, they don't know what they're doing, they know their job, they all have the same knowledge, they all have the medical school, the same medical school, the same knowledge, the same everything. But women are just too, they're not good, good as doctors for me. They always make countless mistakes. I remember I once, I remember many cases actually, but I remember that once she didn't know I was sick. I went to the doctor. She gave me one antibiotic. Didn't help. I go again. She gives me another one. It doesn't help. I go for the third time. I look like pale like death. I can't talk. I lost my voice. What's going on with me? She doesn't know what's going on. I'm too dehydrated, but I always drink water day and night. What's wrong? So for the third time, I go to the doctor and she says, well, I don't know. Well, you are very dehydrated. I will send you to, Zarazni, how do you say? This is a special place in the hospital where only they work on contagious diseases. It's a contagious disease probably, but what disease? It's not cold, it's not flu, it's not nothing, it's nothing, you know. What is it then? It is something, but it's nothing, you know. And well, I don't know, I will send you to this place, but I don't know, what do you say, nurse? She says. And the nurse just popped her eyes out, I remember. And she said, well, doctor, how do I know where would you send her? You know, this is how stupid they are. And when I go to the hospital, I remember, you know, people were talking about that I have AIDS, that I have this, that I have that, you know. I spent like 2 weeks at the hospital, at the hospital, and they left me there immediately. I spent 2 weeks there with IV, and I wanted to go away, and I think it was a little bit more than 2 weeks. And when I wanted to go out, finally to go out, before I went out, I asked them, what's this disease? Why did you keep me at the hospital? You know, they didn't even tell me what's the disease's name. What is this? What do I have IV for? What the fuck is all this? And you know what the doctor said to me at the hospital? Well, he just comes and goes. You have nothing to be worried about. And when I went out of the hospital, they give you this letter, you know, about your state and things like that. And diagnosis was mononucleosis infectiosa or something like that. It was in Latin. I don't know how it sounds like in your language, actually. It was mononucleosis. Fucking stupid mononucleosis. You could have told me that 1,000 times before. And you know, the thing is, how stupid she was. My general practitioner, how stupid she was. She didn't check my blood cells. If she only checked my blood cells, she would see that I have monocytes, too many monocytes. How do you call it in English? I'm just guessing. And she would know immediately. She was just so stupid. So stupid. Yeah, she was a kind of worst doctor ever, you know. And by the way, she gave me 2 different antibiotics. And when you have mononucleosis, you are not allowed to give strong antibiotics because it damages your liver. It influences the liver and it damages your liver quickly. You know, you see how stupid she is. Well, this is all, I think this is all I had to say for today. Yes, Eve, you're only judged by your pussy. You don't have to look at the women who are hookers or something. Just look around you. Look at the religious people throughout the centuries. Always judged by your moral. Because moral standards were introduced after these two tried the tree of knowledge. So it means, what does it mean actually? It means you wanted experience. That's what I always say. She just wanted experience. And then he joined in. It's a new experience. This life on earth is just an experience. This is the whole moral of the story. You wanted it. You wanted experience. You had everything on the silver platter, on a golden platter. But it wasn't enough. The experience wasn't enough. So you find it very often about materialistic, very materialistic people, that nothing is enough for them. Have you noticed? Oh, $1 million contract is not enough. Give me 2, you know. They're all materialistic because of the same thing. Because of those first two, the story of those first two people tells you why. They all act the same way, actually. And they drag all us into this world from which we can't escape. You can only die, you know, to change something. And one very important thing that I've noticed, for example, the Americans, they like to raise their children, and they are raised themselves by trying to change everything around them. Change the world and to fight too. Change the world, change this, change that. Who asked you to change something about, I don't know, me or somebody or something? Yeah, you can grow your own garden. That's called change too. It's not grass anymore, it's a flower. But why do you have need to change this, change that? And that became fight the war, fight cancer, fight government, fight for what? Fight for what? I was born to be everybody's warrior or something. When will you start thinking in your head? Not thinking about, but just thought. Here's a piece of wisdom for you. Thought creates. Thinking about destroys. I needed years to figure that out. What's the difference? What is the difference? In English language, they don't know the difference between thinking about something and the thought that creates everything. We have difference, in my language, we have the difference, but nobody uses it. Nobody uses it. For their health, for material gain, for their happiness, it doesn't matter for what, for something. We would rather go to Medjugorje and pray in front of a statue of a woman called Mary, Lady Mary, how do you say it in English? Lady Madonna, Lady Madonna, and ask for a miracle, because that's the easiest way. When somebody does miracle for you. In Islamic countries, they have a story they believe in. What's his name? Actually, it's a fairy tale for the children or something. And they call it Aladdin's lamp. Because a lamp, what goes out of that lamp, does miracles for you. He's your servant. Like he is actually somebody that fulfills wishes. This is a fool's wish to have somebody like that. But it tickles your mind, doesn't it? You would like to have Aladdin's lamp. You would like to have somebody to do miracles for you because you don't know how. And then when you become too desperate, then you are wondering, what did I do wrong? Why is this happening? Many times in my life when I was desperate, I didn't know. You know, I'm not the perfect. I didn't know. Why me? Why this? Why that? I was full of questions. But you need some kind of miracle too. Yes, so do I. First my health, and then it's money. The stupidest thing, but the most valuable thing. It's most valuable, but it's the stupidest thing. A man invented money. A man ever invented. The stupidest thing that man ever invented. But it was good. It was very good idea for tempting people because they all fall for it. They all fall for beauty, sex. That's why that's the link between the two. You know how they always say sex and money goes hand in hand. Where there's too much money, there is sex everywhere. Where there is sex, they don't need some kind of power, something to feel good, to feel powerful, whatever. They need something else. And of course, there is always the ownership here. Because men, actually not men, before it was men, only men. Today, it's everybody, even the kids. They sing songs about money. They want to own something or someone. Who started slavery? You tell me. If you're smart, you'll tell me, and you'll know. He who knows, knows. He who doesn't know, guesses. That's what I thought. And it's the truth. I was taught in life to always, go one step back to see what's this all about. It's a good idea, it sounds good, but if it doesn't sound good, you always have your doubts. And you know why. And that's it from me for today. It's been almost an hour. From what I see, it's 53 minutes. I just wanted to do a simple video, but usually it ends up like that. So, ciao. Till the next time.